what one reader has to say about Woman, This is War, Gender, Slavery, and the Evangelical Caste System. A unique approach to the modern day evangelical war over women. Andersen is a gifted writer, and the book was easy to read, even as it covers thoughtful and sometimes technical information. I am glad I read it. I've read a great deal about women in the home and church, and it is easy to think there is nothing new to be learned or considered, but this book has a unique approach and covers aspects overlooked by others. Everything is well documented with footnotes in case you have questions or want sources. In the beginning chapters of this book, I had never made the connection between the abolitionist or anti-slavery movement in the late 1800s and the women's rights movement. As Christian women back then began to speak out against slavery, they took pushback and criticism because they were stepping outside the women's sphere of the home and speaking in public, even from pulpits when an anti-slavery meeting happened to take place in a church. There is interaction in the book with Frederick Douglass, who saw similarities between how women and blacks were treated. Women were bound by a caste system too. Thus, the book's subtitle, Gender, Slavery, and the Evangelical Caste System. Finally, I was pleased that translation bias was covered in a chapter, an issue that needs to be addressed and one that I find quite difficult to bring up with lay people or everyday believers who lack knowledge about Bible translation. We can trust our Bibles, but we also need to acknowledge that certain passages are difficult to translate, and bias can come into play. Thank you, L. Martin, for this 4-star review. I thank you for your honesty, and I thank you for reading my book and posting the review. And I also want to give a big shout out to all of my subscribers for reading my Substack column. You have no idea how much you are appreciated. Your subscriptions, whether free or paid, encourage and help me more than you can ever know. And I do have some book news. The second edition of my book, Woman, This is War, Gender, Slavery, and the Evangelical Caste System, will soon be available in both digital and print forms. The book will be published with a new cover under a new title, God and Women, Deconstructing the Christian Caste System. Additionally, the second edition is currently being published in serialized chapter form on my Substack column, with several chapters already available, and the first 3 chapters are free to read on Substack. The first edition of Woman, This is War will continue to be available on Amazon Kindle, and it is free to read for Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscribers. I'm also publishing a free series in progress, I should say, entitled Deconstructing the Danvers Statement on Men and Women. Several segments are already available in print and video formats. And so you can either read it on my Substack column or watch the videos here on YouTube. All of my Substack columns are available free to subscribers. If you are already a paid subscriber to any of my columns, you qualify to receive complimentary paid access to any or all of my other columns upon request. Email your request to Jocelyn at jocelynandersen.com. Remember that I am Andersen with an E, and let me know which column you are already a paid subscriber to and which column or columns you wish to receive complimentary paid access to. You must already be a free subscriber to the column or columns you would like updated, and you must include which email address you're subscribed with. My Substack column, God and Women, Deconstructing the Christian Caste System, is a reader-supported publication. To receive new posts and support my work, consider becoming a free or a paid subscriber. I am Jocelyn Andersen, and I challenge the status quo with an often non-traditional and out-of-the-box approach to biblical understanding. I write and speak on a variety of subjects, including Bible prophecy, God and women, and Christian response to domestic violence. You can connect with me on Facebook, here on YouTube. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and on BookBub if you like to read.